Shy of the 30.
It's a gain of 16 yards. That's good for Falcons. First down. First and 10 at the 32-yard line.
From the 32 now, here's first and 10.
You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing.
This is Freeman. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
And Falcons fans everywhere excited that Devontae Freeman is back on the field wearing number 24 in the red and black. Remember, he went down in week 2 in 2018 with an injury and didn't return. They're hoping to see the form that led him to 1,000-yard seasons in 2015 and 2016.
From the 25 on second down, Ryan. And the return will stop them well inside their own 20 at the 15-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. If that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
Evans has it left side. And he's only able to work this from the 8 to the 10 for a pickup of 2. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on. And I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Caught on the right side by Jones. And he's going to come up well short as they rally up to stop him at about the 16. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be fourth down. And he is the NFC reigning offensive player of the week. You got to think, all the guys that take the field each and every week, that's not an easy award. Always has to feel good to grab.
It has to feel great because it separates you, at least for a week, amongst your peers. And for him to separate again, he has to have the same type of a game. That means being explosive off the line of scrimmage and catching everything that comes his way.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. They run on first down as they get about 3. 2nd and 7, forthcoming. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
On 2nd and 7, Ryan. And finding the tight end, Hooper.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Ain't no such thing as a loss. We take it. Wahoo!
On 3rd and 1, Ryan. He's got Freeman here. It's complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1.
Complete to Devontae Freeman. First and goal at the 1-yard line.
And that'll set them back 5.
Come on, fellas.
The delay of game, a costly one, as they're backed up 5 for first and goal. After the penalty, here's Freeman. And that'll get him halfway there as he takes it from the 6 to the 3-yard line.
And Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal. They'll look to run with Freeman. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Falcons push further out in front. Extra point up and good by Tavecchio. And that'll make the score 14-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Let's go. First and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Second and 6, just inside the 30. Winston to throw it this time. Throw right side to Perriman, and it's caught. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Jameis to throw it. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack.
Well, that was their 3rd sack of the ball game. 2nd in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the 2nd spot pretty soon. This will be fielded at the 17. Excellent work on the run back there, 33 yards. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. Very good starting field position for the Falcons offense as they come up 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Freeman. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's second and a yard. Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
Second and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. Well, I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Throwing now, Ryan on first down. Throw left side complete. That's Gray. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up second and 5.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. And now a 10th carry for Freeman. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
And, Charles, a couple extra defensive backs in here on 3rd and 1.
Not expecting them to run it at all.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. The Bucs defense stiffens and pushes this to 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there was a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So he splits the uprights and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Watch it.
No, but hold on, he finished.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
It's a gain of 2 yards, and it's 3rd down.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
Get him, boy! Get him, boy!
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Here's Winston. Oh, look over the middle, and he's got Perriman. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Well, the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. They'll run it with Jones. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Now Winston over the middle to Evans. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Winston of the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up. Desmond Trufant there making the tackle. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. The Bucs on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. And he'll be stopped short of the first down as they rally to tackle him at about the 28.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Play action now. Winston. And Winston lost the football. And the Falcons grab it. He's at the 50. 30. The 20. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. So the turnover forced, and a wonderful job on a big return.
And how about the convoy that got created to help him get all the way back upfield? I mean, that's the part that people miss on. That's practice. That's worked on. It doesn't just happen in a game and everyone rallies. They discuss it prior to, and everyone knows their role when they create a turnover like that.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Ryan. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Lavonte David. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Mike, 55. Check, 55, Mike.
Final play of the half here. Winston. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, Yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick six. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. Tavecchio good on the extra point. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Again, it's Jones. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
How about his performance last week? Over 200 yards. I think his decisiveness, one cut and he goes, that's what's really made him pile up the yardage.
And the yardage he piled up last week, easily honored with NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
I would have voted for him.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Winston. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Still just the 3rd quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on 4th. They're indeed going. It's Winston. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by DeMonte Casey. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try to get the ground game going with Freeman. That one 28 yards on the ground. Thought they were going to have him down a lot earlier, but he was able to shed that tackle.
Shows the value of the weight room, doesn't it? Shows the value of the attitude when you run the football. Don't go down easily. Break a few tackles, gain some additional yardage.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. He was looking for Mohamed Sanu there, and that'll bring up second down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On third down, Ryan. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. Credit the sack to Vita Vea. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's second and a yard from the 34. They'll stay on the ground with Barber. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. To throw is Winston. Looking for Perriman there, he's got him. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. First down Tampa Bay there, a gain of 13.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Winston. And Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
Now Ryan on first down. And a grab over the middle by Stocker. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Airing it out, looking for Ridley. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked up by Lavonte David. And he is all the way up past the 25. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. Now it's a bootleg with Winston. Blitz coming, and down he goes. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. And those linemen, of course, can't be more than a yard downfield when a pass is thrown, and they might have been able to call that on a couple of guys there. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Grady Jarrett in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I really enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
On the heels of that good carry by Devontae Freeman, here's 1st and 10. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a 1st down again.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home.
Now Freeman, he's been busy today. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
On 2nd down, Freeman. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 15 yards on the play, first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
A 20th carry now for Devontae Freeman. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
Not today, you aren't. Not today. 20.
Now they'll throw it with Ryan. The quick slant caught. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 3rd and 1.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help Salt. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. They'll go again to Jones. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. The Bucs on 3rd down. It has been a disaster. 0 for 8 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Now Jones. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your cover.
And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give him credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. That'll be taken in the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. So here's a 1st and 10.